What is up, the interweb? It is boys here, and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna get straight into it. We are talking about Invincible season 3, episodes 7 and 8. I had to make a separate video for this because of how much pure content and just chaos energy was in this, bro. It was just, oh, we were eating. We were eating. So yeah, episode 7. It takes place. Angstrom is recruiting Invincibles from different universes. He brings them to Mark's universe and he tells them to wreak carnage and he'll give them what they truly desire, which is like to build their own empires in our universe, or to get their mom, or to get their best friend William. And so they go around. They're going around to like major cities. They each one have a major city and they're killing people. They're going around just wah wah wah, just murking people, just straight up murking people, murking people. You know what I'm saying? And like it is crazy because it's the face of Invincible. Everybody's like, what? Invincible? Why is he doing it? Invincible's in London. Invincible's in Tokyo. Invincible's in Chicago. Invincible's in this. Like he's in 8 places at once, or 16. I don't remember how many it was. I think it was like 16 of them. And yeah, it was crazy, bro. There was an introduction, or like they didn't even say his name, Tech Jacket. It may be due to licensing issues, you feel me? I really would have loved if they had like Fire Breather. I understand Spawn would have been a lot harder to get, but I would have loved if they had Fire Breather. If you don't know Fire Breather, I think it was from, I don't know the exact year, but I'm just gonna estimate he was from like this 29 or 2011, something like that, Cartoon Network movie. His name is like Danny Duncan. Like I said, I could be completely wrong, so if I am, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. But his dad is a dragon, his mom is a human. Somehow they made a baby, and that's who he is. Peak movie, you know, peak movie, peak childhood. But he wasn't in this. I was a little bit disappointed, but it wasn't like unexpected, you know, because they also couldn't get Doc Ock and Spider-Man and Batman from before. So where did I leave off? So there's like these different variants of Mark. We have like a sinister Mark, we have a prison Mark, we have a masked Mark, we have a flax. These are all nicknames. They don't really have an actual like name to my knowledge, you know. And so yeah, they're going ahead, they're doing all of this, and so people are mobilized to go and fight these people. Heroes are mobilizing, and they're doing an okay job. A lot of them are dying. I'm not even gonna lie to you. A lot of them are dying, but they're trying their best. You know, these are Viltrumites invading the planet Earth, and some of the marks aren't as strong as our mark. For example, one of them went to the Pentagon. That dude just got thrashed on by Reaniman. He got thrashed on, bro. Fight back! Fight back! Fight back! He would just get his back beat and pause. And yeah, it was kind of crazy, but it was like amazing. You know, I didn't think the animation was bad. I thought like the way they were doing everything, it was really good. Mark had came in contact with a couple of them, was trying to fight him off and then saying like, bro, stop, what are you doing, all this and that. And well, not really, but they were throwing hands. It was a bit of a scuffle, you know. So yeah, in the end, Angstrom, like, in I think there was like 8 marks left. Like after everything was said and done, they started out with, I want to say 18, maybe. You know, flame me if I'm wrong, but they started out with like around 18, and there was like 8 marks left. And so they met back up with Angstrom. Angstrom was like, which was above Mark's house. And Angstrom was like, all right, so just what the game plan is. Then the Mark's like, no, we not gonna do this, bro. You got most of us killed. Bro, give us what we promised, or we're going to kill you. And I'm sitting here thinking, these niggas is stupid. Why are you going to threaten the dude who brought you here with portals? They just wasn't. Ooh, I'm spitting, but their cognitive skills were just not forming in their brain. If you get what I'm saying. And so then Mark Angstrom Levy pushed them into portals, stranded them in this dimension, and now they're stuck there until we ever figure out what happens. I know what happens, but I'm not gonna spoil it in case nobody read the comics. And yeah, so he pushes them there, and they're stuck, bro. And so at this point, he comes back. He tries to face our version of Mark. Animation was peak. Animation was peak. Animation was peak. Animation was peak. You know, it was a really good fight, and I really enjoyed it. Mark learned from like previous encounters with Angstrom. He was doing his best. He was weaving. He was trying his everything. It was a really good fight. I think Oliver was there too, and he did kind of like get the best of Angstrom, and so Angstrom tried to retreat to his universe and or to the scientists who fixed him up from when Mark beat his skull in. But then Mark grabbed his hand and was like, "Nah, bro, nah, we ain't finna do that." But Angstrom closed the portal. His arm got chopped off, and um, and yeah, and then he's trying to tell the scientists like, fix me now, fix me. You. I'm sorry, I'm not finna like get into it, but yeah, he was telling him to fix him. He was basically being degrading to him, and they're sitting here like, bro, we gonna let you die. We either gonna let you die or we gonna kill you ourselves, and then we gonna investigate your corpse. We gonna look at what make you tick. All right, so yeah, it's either you gonna do what we say, or we gonna you know what I'm saying, look at your body parts as you bleed out on our floor. And so Angstrom is like, all right, what do you want? And so they fix him, and yeah, that's kind of like where we leave Angstrom off. And then now jump to episode freaking 8. Mark is Mark is currently, I think it's like a week later maybe, or a week later. Mark is helping clean with the clean. Mark is helping with the cleanup. It's still a lot of dead bodies to be found. He's like, oh, here's another one, and so then boom, down comes Conquest, and Conquest is a Viltrumite who's like older than Omni Man, bro, older than Omni Man, and with Viltrumites, the older they are, the stronger they. You know what I'm saying? They have time to build up strength. They don't get weaker. They don't get weaker with age, bro. So we can naturally assume that this dude is gonna be like that. Like he's gonna be like that. All right. So he prepared for my arrival, Worm. He on timing. All right. Now, if you are looking at this episode and you think that Mark stands a single chance, I want you to go to a psychiatrist to get checked out. Genuinely, I really do, from the bottom of my heart. Please get your brain checked out, because you might be stupid. Mark was getting tossed left and right, bro. Mark, you may have said that hard line of,
only thing I want to do right now is hit something as hard as I can.
That was not doing nothing in Conquest, bro. Conquest was a peak villain, bro. He was a peak villain. He came in on straight timing, was thrashing Mark, was boo, boo, boo. Mark had stood no chance. Like, Conquest is like, if this is all you got, then your planet is done for. I'm just like, do you need more motivation? Do I need to kill somebody, bro? Do I need to kill somebody for you to take this fight seriously? And then as Mark is literally getting manhandled, mauled, Oliver, it's like, I have to go help Mark. I have to go help Mark. And then Debbie is looking at him. She's like, this nigga about to die. Oh my gosh. But she's like, okay, you can go, but run. Don't let him catch you. Just run. And so then he's like, I know. Oliver says, I know. He leaves. And at this point, he's flying towards where Mark is. And Mark is getting tossed in the air, bro, like a rag doll. They're literally, he's getting tossed, bro. He's like, boo, boo, boo. He's getting tossed in the air. And Oliver is still trying to catch up to him. Oliver is pretty fast, bro. Oliver's pretty fast. And then I don't remember exactly how the scene happens, but they get back down to the ground. I think Conquest might be holding Mark, and like he's basically like, if nobody helps Mark, he's done for at this point. And Oliver comes in, hits Conquest, boom, and he says, "Big ass beat down coming, it's coming something."
Big ass beat down coming up!
And the scene where he slides, I'm not gonna lie, that scene was tough. That scene was tough, bro. And then he goes to Conquest like he's about to square up with this dude and gets impact frame bounced off the concrete. I'm sitting here like, oh my Lanta, not my boy. And it's just crazy. It's crazy, bro. And I'm like, oh. And so Mark gets up. He's like, "Oliver, go." Conquest's like, "Bro, I'm done with you right now. I got a new toy to play with." And he stretches Oliver like he knocks Mark into a building and stretches Oliver like he's some Play-Doh. You can hear Oliver bones breaking. But also, I forgot to mention, once he like smacked Oliver, like Oliver's teeth is out at this point, bro. It has like 8 teeth left. He stretches Oliver over his head like some Play-Doh, bro. And I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, what am I watching? Like, I knew Oliver was gonna be straight, but I'm like, bro, his back is spinal. Bro needs some help at this point. And so yeah, I'm sitting here like, oh my. And then so Mark comes and helps him, and so then he's still trying to tell Oliver to run. He's like, no. I think at that point, Oliver might have been done. Like, after his back got freaking, after he almost got ripped in half, bro. It was just crazy. And so then they're still fighting. Mark is breaking his limbs, hitting they do kind of like a Conquest has this big old infinity gauntlet, and Mark just has his regular hand. They do like a fist clash, and Mark straight up breaks his hand, bro. I'm sitting here like at work. I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, oh my. I'm doing all of this at work. I'm sitting there in a chair, bro. I'm at a loss for words when all this is going through, when all of this is happening. People are trying to talk to me at work. I'm like, nigga, stop talking to me. I got something more important than our conversation right now. Leave me alone. Thank you. But then it's like, I'm just saying, like, oh my gosh. Like, Mark broke his hand, and then he punches, like, they're still fighting. He punches, try to throw a punch at Conquest. So after Mark breaks his hand and the Conquest's gauntlet is broken, they only have one arm. They both only have one arm. So they're going back and forth, you know what I'm saying, with his one arm. And I think that's like a very good parallel between fighters. They're both impaired at this point. And then at a certain point, I don't remember exactly how like the events line up, but Mark, Conquest like grabs Mark and like flies through a beach on some season 1 Omni-Man and Subway scene. Literally like holds Mark like this and just flies through a beach. And Mark is literally basically that scene that happened verbatim. And I'm sitting like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, bro. That's crazy, bro. So what happens again? And I'm sitting like, dang. You know, I wouldn't be at the beach if the earth was just threatened by some powerful niggas last week. I'm staying home. But, who's going to stop them? Let them people have their last moments of fun. And at another point in their fight, like Mark throws a punch at Conquest. Conquest grabs it. It straight up like breaks Mark's hand, his other hand. So Mark only has one hand at this point. And then Eve also wakes up out of a hospital, out of a coma. Like, she's literally just woken up. She doesn't have, enough power to really do anything in this fight. But she's like, if Mark is fighting, I'm fighting too. And so Cecil tries to stop her, but it doesn't really work. She flies off and she tries to do something. She ends up getting like speared and her guts are flying out of her. I didn't even know if they were gonna show that fully, but her guts are flying out of her. She hits the ground, and Mark is holding Eve, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, my baby." He's like, "I can't live without you. I can't live without you." And yeah, bro, it's just bad. Mark is badly injured at this point. Conquest is saying, "Oh, she's about to die," and then she died, and this dude is like, "I can see the future, and you don't live to you don't live." This was a hard line. It's like, "I can see the future, and there's not a future where you live to see tomorrow," something like that.
I don't care how fast you are. I can see the future. You don't live to see tomorrow.
And goes and just like still with its broken limbs, just trying to fight and fight and fight and fight. And meanwhile, in the background, Eve is also regenerating like her body. And that's where we discover Eve has mental blocks in place to where she can't manipulate living matter. But in life or death situations, she overrides those blocks, and that's how she regenerates her body. And so yeah, Mark gets distracted by that, gets hit by Conquest. Eve hits this nigga with a Kamehameha and basically fries his body, fries his lower body off. And then that's like basically in cue for Mark to get on top of him, pause. And Mark has no hands at this point. He has no hands. His hands are just, like this. In Conquest, there was some line exchange between Mark and Conquest, like, "Are you still having fun?" And Conquest like, "I take the good with the bad." He's accepting everything that's happening, basically. And Mark starts bashing his skull in with his own skull, which is like crazy, bro. He just kept hitting and hitting and hitting. His whole face is covered in blood. He does not stop, bro. He does not stop. And it's 16 minutes. Oh my gosh. But he just keeps on going. And it's really crazy, bro. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. Boom, 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 boom. And by the time Mark stops, his Conquest's face looks like how Angstrom's face was when Mark was done with him. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is wow. And so after that, Mark crawls over to Eve and he's like, "You're alive." Which I love that trope where like one of the characters is like they're both clinging on to life essentially, and the character who is beaten worse in the circumstance than the other person, like, "You're alive." I like that kind of trope. I don't know what it's called, but I like it. And yeah, I didn't mention. How did I not mention the realest nigga's death? Oh my gosh, I'm slacking. I'll get to it in a second. But yeah, so boom. I'm so thrown off by that, bro. Oh, freak. So Cecil and the rest of the freaking Guardians come after Conquest is down for the count. They put them in hospitals. Mark was out for a couple of days. He comes. Oh my gosh, that threw me off. But yeah. So yeah, even Mark, they're still in the hospital for a couple of days. Mark was out for a couple of days. Oliver, like, Debbie comes to see Mark. She cries. She apologizes. She feels like it's all her fault. Mark says it's not your fault. It's nothing you could have done. Yada yada yada. Wrapping it up and everything. Oliver is still in the. We don't see Oliver at this point, but Debbie says Oliver is, jumping around. He should be fine. He's waiting to get released, basically. And then we get to the realest nigga funeral. I'm so mad at myself. I didn't discuss this, bro. But the way that Rex had died was he was fighting a evil version of Invincible, and he like team is getting like beat by this nigga. Rex is basically near death anyway. A part of his rib is exposed, and yeah, he basically like he's like, He tells Bulletproof to grab Monster Girl, to grab Robot, to, is there somebody else there? I don't know if, I think it might have been just those two. He tells Bulletproof to grab Monster Girl and Robot and to get out of here. And he's like, I have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And so he's sitting there fighting. He's throwing all this stuff, trying to explode the evil version of Mark. He's like, two. None of it's working. He's pulling out all the stops. And Mark eventually catches him, and he's like, oh, you're all out of stuff to explode. You have nothing to explode left. Or and then he's like, what are you gonna explode now? And then Rex looks at him, and he digs into his side. He's holding his like rib, bro, and said,
My entire goddamn skeleton, dickhead.
he just blows up and like sacrifices himself to kill the evil version of Invincible. Now it was so hard to me, bro. That was so hard. That's so gangster. So gangster. And then at the funeral scene, Eve was talking, she was crying, she was saying like Rex was like her first everything, you know what I'm saying? Robot says to honor his friend, he's gonna take his name, and I'm saying her like, bro, you bitch ass nigga. You bitch ass nigga. Because of comic book stuff that happens later. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I did not think I was gonna be rambling on for this long. You feel me? Hopefully this video is edited nicely. You know, I'm gonna try. Hopefully this video is edited nicely. And yeah, this season was really good. Was really good. I can't wait for the next season. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Journey. I give the season 10 out of 10. My name is Journey. I had another segment I want to say. I don't want to make the video too long. So my name is Journey. I will see all of you beautiful people in the next video. I'll hold the video out within a week. Bye.